What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is SportsPerDiem.com. UFC 254 is officially over, and so is the career of Khabib Nurmagomedov, who retires. Yes, he retired after defeating Justin Gaethje via second round triangle choke to retain his UFC undisputed lightweight championship. And who could be surprised by that? After the loss of his father a few months ago, Khabib went on record saying that he wanted to do two more fights. He wanted to get to 30-0, and then he was going to retire. He's going to call it a career. He was done after 30-0. And shortly after that, the unification bout versus Justin Gaethje at UFC 254 was announced. So here we are, UFC 254. We finally make it to the main event of the evening. And even though it's a pandemic, even though we're living in the coronavirus era, it was a big fight feel. But getting into the fight, immediately you see Justin Gaethje fighting at a lower stance. He's standing far away from Khabib because obviously Khabib is a master grappler. Obviously Khabib wants to take the fight down to the ground. But the two men engage, and you see Justin Gaethje with that lower stance, and he's throwing the low leg kicks, and they're taking effect on Khabib. And some of those kicks probably didn't even faze Khabib, but you don't want to be taking those kind of leg kicks, especially from a guy like Justin Gaethje. And also with that low stance from Justin Gaethje, being as far away from Khabib as he was, he couldn't really throw combinations, so all he was really doing was staying low, and he was throwing leg kicks. And if Khabib came in a little bit more, he'll wing an overhand. That was basically Justin Gaethje's offense. But being the all-time great that Khabib is, Khabib just said, all right, let's strike. And don't get it twisted. Khabib on the feet, it's not pretty. It's not like watching, let's say, Israel Adesanya on the feet. But Khabib is a very effective striker. Khabib, a lot of people don't give him that credit that he's a well-rounded fighter. Khabib is a master grappler, but he'll throw hands with you. He got some decent little power in his hands. He throws leg kicks. You saw him a couple of times in this fight. He threw some flying knees. One of them actually landed on Justin Gaethje. But then we go to the end of the first round, and that was a good thing for Justin Gaethje because Khabib finally got a takedown, and you can see it immediately. Khabib is looking to attack. Khabib is looking for submissions. Fortunately for Justin Gaethje, the first round went to an end. But then we get to the start of the second round, and Khabib is looking like a man on a mission. He's hopping around, and he was doing this before the fight started too, but at the beginning of the second round, he's just telling the referee, let's go, let's get this started, because Khabib can smell the blood in the water. Khabib quickly goes for the takedown. He gets the takedown, and then after that, he's on top. He puts one of his legs over Justin Gaethje's shoulder, rolls over to his back, and at the same time, he puts his other leg up, so his legs are kind of like this. It's kind of like a scissors, and then he sinks in the triangle choke with his legs. He's choking Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is tapping out. The referee isn't paying attention. He's allowing Justin Gaethje to fight, even though the shit was over with. Khabib, and still UFC undisputed lightweight champion of the world, 29-0. What a career for Khabib. You see immediately after the fight, he doesn't want anybody from his corner to come in and celebrate. He wants this moment to himself. He wants this moment to him and his father. You see him just crying in the middle of the octagon, head down on the ground, emotional, because obviously it's his father, but it's his coach, his father, his best friend. He lost his father, who was always there with him his whole life. I can barely keep my emotions in check right now because I know that feeling. But before they officially announced Khabib as the winner, you see Khabib doing what a lot of fighters do. A lot of fighters like to get the gloves off. He was biting at the tape. He rips the gloves off. He gets one glove off, and then John Anik comes in to interview him for the post-fight interview. And, he got one of his cornermen taking off the other glove. And I'm thinking right there to myself, Khabib is about to retire. But then you actually hear him say it that he's retiring from the sport of mixed martial arts. He talked about the conversation with his mom and how she really didn't want him to fight anymore without his father in his corner. But he wanted to go out there and fight Justin Gaethje, the next best guy in the division, the UFC interim lightweight champion, unify the titles, be the undisputed lightweight champion again, and also be the pound for pound king right now in the sport of mixed martial arts. And he went out there and he did exactly what Khabib always does, and that's show up and show out and dominate. And by Tuesday, as he retires, he will be the pound for pound king right now in the sport of mixed martial arts. And he will go down as one of the greatest of all time. And I'm going to go out and say this. And I know some boxing fans, they're going to feel some type of way about this. But I would say that Khabib's 29-0 is as impressive, if not more impressive, than Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s 50-0. Don't get me wrong. You know, what Floyd Mayweather did, that was impressive as hell, especially at the age he did it. But at the same time, in boxing, it's a bit different. Because in boxing, you can go out and you can fight all the bums in the world. You can pad the hell out of your record. A lot of times in mixed martial arts, in the UFC, let's say, a lot of times you have to fight the best guys. And that's another thing, because in boxing, there are so many politics where you don't even see the best guy fight the best guy in their primes when they're supposed to be fighting. In mixed martial arts, specifically the UFC, you don't see that happen. For the most part, you see the best guys fight the best guys at the right time. The only thing that gets in the way of a big fight in the UFC are injuries. Khabib versus Tony Ferguson is an example of that. But the sport of mixed martial arts, especially the top of the top, the UFC, it's not easy to go undefeated. That's my opinion. You know, I believe Khabib's undefeated record is as impressive, if not more impressive, than Floyd Mayweather's record. If you disagree, you know, that's fine, you know, but I'm going to stick to what I said. But Khabib goes out in a big way, defeating Justin Gaethje via second round triangle choke to retire the undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion of the world, the greatest lightweight of all time, and one of the pound for pound GOATs of all time. Khabib Nurmagomedov, what a career. Tip my hat off to you, or whatever that damn thing you be wearing, whatever that is, tip it off to you. A hell of a career, a future Hall of Famer, most definitely. But I'm out. Like the video and share the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless. Peace.